You see them online, real estate entrepreneurs. But how are they doing it? And what are they doing different? We've got the answers. This is the Real Estate Block. Interviewing real estate entrepreneurs doing consistent real estate deals. If you want to be a real estate entrepreneur or you're already in the business, we've got on the pros that give the secrets and strategies to make it happen. This is the Real Estate Block, and this is your host, Aaron Gaunt.
All right. Welcome to the Real Estate Block podcast, where we bring on the guest to ask them the hard questions by taking a deep dive into their teams, marketing strategies, systems, and processes on how they have built a machine that spits out consistent deal flow month after month. Where the value given during this show will help you find and create consistent real estate deals. Today, I have my good friend, Corey Geary. How are you?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I thank you so much for hopping on here and being a part of this show. Corey, tell us who you are, where were you prior to real estate, and why the heck did you even get into this crazy world of real estate?
That's a great question, man. So my name is Corey Geary. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. The business is nationwide, though we've been nationwide for a couple years now. Got into real estate, man, back in 2016. So not a whole long time ago, but, a few years. And when I first got in because I was a blackjack dealer before real estate. And I was dealing blackjack for like 16 years, saved up a bunch of money, dealing blackjack because it's a tipping job. So I had some money saved away. And I used to watch that show, Fix or Flop, or Flip or Flop, with Tarek Al-Musa. And me and my girlfriend at the time would watch the show, and she was a part-time realtor, part-time blackjack dealer. So I knew her from the casino, and we love watching that show because HGTV just love watching remodeling houses, right? And so like I'd watch it, and she goes, "Why don't you flip a house so I can list it?" I was like, "I don't know. It seems easy enough. Takes 20 minutes and I make $80,000. Why don't I try this, right?" And so like, literally the next morning, I'm running around the neighborhood on my morning run, and I see one of those signs. It's a bandit sign. It says, fix and flip, buy price, 250, ARV, 350. And it had a phone number. And I called that phone number, and I bought that house. It took me 6 months, and I made $8,000 fixing and flipping that house. That was my very first real estate deal. The girlfriend at the time, she got to list the property like she intended. And that was my first deal. Second deal, I started going into local RIAs, met wholesalers. I bought a second deal. I made $20,000 on that one. My third deal, I bought four houses all at once. I thought I knew what I was doing. I want to try to scale the business. I thought I was successful in my first two houses. Let's make more money. And we bought four houses all at once. And we ended up getting a new contractor at that time. And he took us to the cleaners, and I lost $250,000, and it set me back to zero.
Oh, geez.
That was the beginning of my real estate journey, and I didn't want to give up. And I went on Google, and I typed in, literally, and this is a true story, I typed in, how do wholesalers get deals? And my mentor popped up, who was Mr. Sean Terry.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, Sean Terry popped up. I bought the Flip to Freedom course, put out bandit signs, started some direct mail, and it took me 10 months, and I got my first wholesale deal. And that's how I went from fixing and flipping, wanting to be a fix and flipper, into wholesaling because I was broke from fixing and flipping. So,
well, how did you go from and a great story, and I've heard this story before, and it's a fantastic story and super motivating. When you got from zero, how did you start?
Well, I was lucky enough. I still had my casino job, right? So I'm still making money in the casino. Like, I didn't quit my job there out of the gate. So, and the casino job was a good job, man. I mean, it was over 6 figures a year I was making, and most of it was, money I was taking home every night from the tips. It's like, I tell people it's like being a bartender in a high-end nightclub. That's the kind of money you can make in a casino job. Wow. And so like I still had that, right? And so like I lost the 401k money from the casino, I lost my life savings, and I lost my previous flip money. But at least I had that. So I had money coming in. I was able to eat. I was able to pay for marketing. I was able to like still live. Thank God, and that's how I was able to get through that. It took 10 months before I got my first wholesale deal. And it's funny. that first wholesale deal, I remember I sold it to the wholesaler who was selling me the deals before. Like I sold it to that guy. It was full round robin. I was like, okay.
Was that like was that a JV or did he flip it?
He probably he told me he was buying it, but you know how that goes.
We all know.
I didn't know at the time. You don't know what you don't know, but now I'm pretty sure he probably re-wholesaled it out. But I didn't know at the time. I figured, oh, he bought it. Yay! I made 10 grand. And I was like, all right. I didn't look on the HUD to see if there was a second assignment or anything like that. I was just happy.
You were definitely ready to go into real estate, into this game. By being a blackjack dealer, you're talking to people every single day. So, I mean, you weren't afraid to talk to people.
Correct. And that's where, like, I never went to any sales training, or I never had like any, like, I wasn't like the door-to-door vacuum sales guy or the car salesman guy. Like, I just have I can talk to people, and I love to talk, and I can create good rapport with people just because of my blackjack dealing days. And like, you have to hustle these people when you're dealing blackjack to them, because you're taking their money every single day. And the only way you're going to get tips out of them is if you create rapport with them and put on a show for them. And it's those guys who make a lot of money dealing cards. It's not the guys who go out there and deal like a robot and don't say a word to you. And then you'll see those all the time. Yep. It's the guys who go out there and put a show on it and give their best effort. I mean, that's what I did every night. I'm like, I have to be here anyways. Why not enjoy it and put a show on? Because I got to be here anyways. I'm here to make money. 99% dealers didn't understand that. It's funny. And so that's how I was able to make, I was like one of the highest paid dealers in the casino because of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Corey, so you link up with Sean Terry. A lot of people, he has so many success stories, and you're one of them. How did you
individual? He's yes. I give him credit every time.
No, absolutely. 100%. And so by doing a couple deals, so you get this this one deal, you make a couple bucks, you get this JV guy, probably JV in it. How did you go from doing a deal here and there? Because we all deal with that first struggle in the beginning of doing a couple deals, not being consistent month after month. How did you make it to month after month deal flow? Like, what was the key thing that you think got you there?
I mean, yeah. So the key thing was consistency. That was the biggest key thing that got me there. I think that's in any business. You have to be consistent, and you have to stay, true, even when you don't want to do it and you feel like you're getting your ass kicked, right? It's hard sometimes to have that consistency. And so it took me 10 months to get my first deal. But then after I got the first one, like the second one, it happened like within a month. And then another one, and then another one. And, in the beginning, you're only a solopreneur. So you only have so much bandwidth. I only have so much time. You only have so much more money you can put back in the business. And it's like, so it was it was a struggle in the beginning. And then I started building a team. And I built I literally out of my house. I take the front living room of my house and I converted it into a call center. And I had cubicles lined up in my living room, my front living room, and I hired college kids and old ladies to come over and cold call for me.
Those old ladies are the best.
They're oh my God, they were the best. They were the best. And I just wanted more leads. I needed cheaper leads. Direct mail is not cheap. I was doing bandit signs, but that's not really scalable. I mean, you can go out on the weekends and do your thing and get a deal here and there. Mm-hmm. It's not very consistent, or at least, I didn't do it very consistently. Right. And so at the time, telecommunications was kind of coming around. This was like 2017, 18, maybe 17. Yeah. Cause that's when cold calling was becoming a thing. Not, RVM was becoming a thing. And so I built a call center in my house, and they would cold call for me. I would get the leads. This is all local, none of the nationwide stuff. And when they would bring a lead in, I would hop on the phone and I would book an appointment and then go in person and close the deal. And so I was belly to belly with all my sellers, and I was doing this all day long and still work in the casino all night. So I'd go to the casino, work from 8 o'clock at night to 4 in the morning, get up at 4 in the morning, get home like a 3 or 4 hour nap, get up like 7 or 8 again, and then do the real estate all day. And then about 6, take a nap before I went to the casino again. And I did that for a year and a half.
Oh, geez.
A year and a half I did that. Now, obviously, in the casino, I had Monday, Tuesdays off. So Monday, Tuesdays, It was nice because I could focus just on real estate. And then, Saturday, Sundays, I was off from real estate, and I was able to just do my casino life. And so but I did that for a year and a half before I had enough money kind of tucked away.
Okay.
Where I felt confident enough, like, okay, I can go ahead and quit the casino. And I'll tell you that this is a funny story how I quit. 2018, I'm in the boardroom with Sean Terry, and I'm doing a presentation, and we're doing like maybe, I don't know, 5 to 7 deals a month consistently. And I'm still in the casino, and he's like, why haven't you quit the casino yet? And I was like, well, because I'm still making 100 grand there. He's like, well, you could make so much more in real estate if you could just put your focus there. I was like, well, and to me, it didn't click.
Yeah.
But then he's like, hey, I want you to promise me you're going to quit the casino by the end of 2018. Of course, Sean's my mentor. So I'm like, okay. And he goes like, all right. He goes, raise your right hand. He made me raise my right hand. And he said, I promise I'm going to quit the casino, or I have to give $15,000 to his favorite charity by the end of 2018. So I'm like, I swore to him. I was like, okay, I'll do, one or the other. And towards the end of 2018 comes around. I am not quit the casino. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pay Sean his $15,000. That way I'm still good. Because I'm still making good money in the casino. I can still do this. And it'll be all right. Well, this is what I'm thinking. I during that time, before I see Sean at the end of the year, I go to Vegas with all my blackjack buddy friends, and I end up getting drunk and roller skating ice skating on top of one of the casinos. And I fall and break my wrist.
Oh my goodness.
No lie. And so you can't deal cards with a broken wrist. I fall and break my wrist. And I swear to you, it was God telling me, you're going to try to go back on your bet. And no, you're not doing that. Here, break your wrist. It's like, it was a sign for God for me. I came back, and I was like, either I could have gone to FMLA for, 3 to 6 months until my wrist healed.
Right.
Or I made good on my word and I quit the casino. And so that's how I left the casino.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you were able to kind of, move on and continue and get into real estate full time, because now you're just changing lives. And I know we kind of just jumped right into it. Even if somebody listens to this and not know exactly who Corey Geary is, I mean, waving the Novation Nation flag. I just want to I want to share with you. A lot of times I like to ask questions to our guests, but I just want to share with you, Corey, my story of seeing you. I was a good buddy of Eric Klein. He had you on his his thing, and I think, and I don't know if you remember me, but you gave the presentation on your Novations. It was something, and you built this Novation course in the perfect time for the market that we're in. And I know that's kind of like how you really exploded, because there was a need and you filled that need in the market. Yep. And so guys like me who saw you, saw it. I knew I needed to figure out Novations. And matter of fact, I'm preaching Novations. A lot of people are coming to me now for that kind of stuff. And I remember you were on the screen in my office. My whole team was watching. We were watching you. I was on my phone. You finally presented your course. I bought it right there on the spot. I asked a quick question, and I rolled on my phone. I said, hey,
I remember that now.
I bought your course.
You're like, I bought your course. I remember that now.
And yes. I remember your look, and you were so surprised. It looked like that somebody would buy the course, right? Because sometimes when you put out a product that, I hope it's valuable to others, right? And it was worth it. And, and to be honest, for me to buy it so quick, your course is worth probably 10 grand, 5 grand.
The paperwork alone is worth it. And the paperwork is what really, it saved my butt a couple times already. And that paperwork is then no one else's course, because I had it could be now because I've been selling so much, but in the beginning, and this is over a year ago, I spent about, 10 to 15K with my attorneys drafting up the way I wanted to do Novations with the least amount of liability as possible. And so it took some money and some thinking. And so I can't take full credit. My attorney came up with a lot of that stuff. I just told him, hey man, here's what I want to do. And here's a bunch of money. And he did it. Right. And so I use his paperwork. And so that's where really, and I've seen other people use the attorney in fact now in their courses. There's the Novation. I've seen it now in other, but my attorney created that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was because I didn't like the old way of doing it. And I learned it the old way from a couple other gurus. And I didn't like it because it added too much liability to the table. And I wanted to scale the model. I wanted to do it the way we do wholesaling. When we're wholesaling, we can do 10, 20, 30 deals at a time because it's a very scalable, easy model. And it's not always easy because you do have problems, but like it's a very scalable model. And not like fix and flipping where it's a lot. You can scale it, but it's very difficult. But I wanted the Novations to be like that. I wanted to be able to like, I thought of it as like, man, if I can make this like wholesaling without taking possession, then this could be a scalable model. And that's what we were on the mission of doing. And we got a lot of, lumps on the head, doing it, and learned a lot of lessons, but we were able to kind of crack the code on that and figure it out. I remember last year at one point, or towards the beginning of this year, at one point we had like 67 deals on the board, and they were all Novations. You know what I mean? All Novations. So I mean, I love the model. I love it better than wholesaling. It's wholesaling is just, oh my gosh, you're lying to you're not lying to the seller, but you're not disclosing to the seller, you're selling the contract. You're not disclosing the buyer how much you're making. There's all this gray area. Oh, hey, can my contractor come over and look at the property? It's like, oh God, it's just so much. And that's why deals fall apart. Novations, you have none of that. You have none of that. It's full disclosure all the way through. I mean, there's so many reasons why I love Novations. You're on the MLS. You don't have to worry about a buyer's list. And oh my gosh, it's just you still have your own, you have a set of problems, but it's a different set of problems than you do when you're doing wholesaling.
And this is just kind of a cool question, because one thing we do, a little coaching here on the podcast. Now when we offer the wholesale cash offer, concierge service, right? And then a listing. Now, are you putting fixers as well as a Novation and slapping them on the MLS?
Yeah, we will. Oh yeah, for sure. And because there's certain conventional lending that will loan and on fixer uppers, and so we'll put on the MLS for conventional as is in cash. Yeah. I've sold some pretty ugly houses on the MLS via Novation that probably should have been wholesale.
Incredible.
So, and we always lead with cash because you always want to lead with cash because you want to anchor them. That's the only reason why we lead with cash is to anchor them, and we lead with cash super low, super low. Like we want them to say no to cash, and then we come in with the concierge service offer to save the day, and that's what the concierge service. That's why they almost always go for the concierge service offer. It's the same when you're doing seller financing. You'll always lead with cash. That should be always the first offer you make is a cash offer, and then lead into the other solutions.
Right. How are you getting them not to hang up on you right away when you leave with cash?
Man, they don't. They're always stick around and hear what you got to say afterwards. It's how you prep them on the conversation and how you present the cash offer. Yeah, I mean, not that it never happens, but especially when the market shifted, we really started going deep on our cash because we're like, if they're going to agree to our cash offer, we need to make sure we're deep anyways. If they're going to agree to it. And so, and you still get some, it'll be funny. You'll get some that'll agree to it. You'll be like, oh, they agree to this? 150 ARV 380. Okay, we can wholesale this.
No, and we'll get into how you're getting these the sellers on the phone. But first, I want to talk about. I mean, Corey, what does your team or your real estate right now team look like right now?
So a couple guys in house. That's it. And actually, we've been going down. Like this year, we used to have a huge team of VAs. We had 5 acquisition VAs, and then we had 3 in-house for dispositions, and then a sales manager, a sales coach who ran all the VAs. And then we've been whittling down all that team, and then now we got a couple local guys still doing working for us, doing deals, but we've been whittling down a lot of the we're going real lean for 2023, and then I'm also focusing on my other efforts. This is a whole nother conversation, but I'm into crypto now, and we even started a cryptocurrency mastermind because we're making a lot of money through crypto right now. I'm cash flowing about $30K a month right now in crypto, and so like it's just we're having a lot of success there. So I'm focusing more of my time and energy over there. But I mean, we still have probably right now we got like 19 deals on the board right now. But yeah, we're just, lean, man. We're going so lean into 2023 because we just, with the uncertainty of the market, The Fed's going to keep raising the rates all through 2023. Jerome Powell has already said he's going to. And so we just need to be very careful on how we conduct business. But I think there's going to be massive opportunity that's going to come towards the end of 2023, whether you're in real estate, stocks, cryptocurrency, I don't care what you're in, or maybe the used car market, whatever it is, right? Like there's going to be so much opportunity on the horizon that people have no clue yet what's about to happen. So I'm super excited for 2023, super stoked. So I'm just trying to prep myself and get ready for that right now. So, but I'm focusing most of my energy towards the crypto space.
No, that's incredible. And I love the positivity, and that's the whole reason, like I told you before the show, is we created this show because the recession kind of hit a lot of people real hard. People were eating sand, not getting any deals. People were going out of business. And I thought, hey, let me put something together where I could get people on the show where people could reach out to for help so they could still provide for their families and still be successful. Now we see that this is something that, I like what you just said, is that there's an end, right? There's a light. It's gonna be passed. We got to look at
beautiful light.
You got to look at your business as something you're going to be doing for 20 years, 20 plus years, not something that's only going to happen for, a year or two. And then just, okay, I'm done.
And you need to always be pivoting. You got to be adjusting to what's happening, coming, don't stick your head in the sand. I mean, all year I've had this conversation with other real estate investors at masterminds, events, and they're all like, I swear 98% of them were sticking their head in the sand. Oh, it's never going to be bad. It would never be like 2008. One big guru here in Phoenix was telling everybody, oh, the hedge funds will never allow the real estate market to crash again ever, because all that money's in the hedge funds are drying up. They're going away. And he was preaching that like crazy, trying to get people to buy into his coaching. And that's how, and that's like, I was preaching the opposite. And who turned me on to it first in the beginning of the year was Sean Terry. That's why I love Sean, man. Sean was like, hey, guys, be careful. Stop fixing and flipping. Be careful what you're taking possession of right now. The 2022 is going to be rough. And he was preaching that way back at the beginning of 2022 when everyone else was like, and so it was crazy how many people, like real estate people, they don't want to see it. And it's great, man, because since I've been on this crypto journey, I mean, other crypto masterminds, they saw it like a year and a half ago. Like it's crazy because they do market analysis differently than the way real estate people do. I mean, this one mastermind I'm in, these guys trade for hedge funds, millions of dollars of money they're trading in the cryptocurrency space. And so these guys have their thumb on the pulse, and they knew that the real estate market was going to crash or going to crash way back, in towards the end of 2021. And when they were talking about it, and I was like, these guys are crazy. No effing way. And then when Sean started talking about it, and then the Fed came out in January to start talking about they're going to raise the interest rates. And I was like, oh my God, it's all playing out. And so all 2022, my number one goal was cutting overhead, and running leaner and leaner and leaner. I mean, you'll be surprised if you go through your books and how many $10 subscriptions to garbage that you have to go in there and like, where does this subscription to? And you have to manually cut it.
Yep.
Go through your books over and over and over again, and just account for every dollar being spent is crucial right now.
Do you have a team for your crypto side?
Mm-hmm. For the crypto stuff, it's me and one other guy. We run a mastermind. The mastermind teaches real estate entrepreneurs on how to basically have some exposure into the crypto space. And it's me and him that do all the due diligence. So it almost reminds me back in the day when I was a blackjack dealer, because back then I was like, real estate all day and then casino all night. And now it's like I'm doing real estate during the day and I'm doing research and due diligence all night. So like 8 hours a night, I am digging and searching and reading, and I'm going into different communities and groups and learning and like just really integrate myself into all the the communities that are out there, because we're in a bear market. And I'll tell you, bear markets is where the true wealth is born. Bear markets are for building in the cryptocurrency space, and bull markets are for selling and marketing. And so and retail does the opposite. Retail buys in the bull market that's when they should be selling, and then they sell in the bear market. They do it opposite. It's the whole Warren Buffett thing. Buy low, sell high. That's in everything. It's in everything. And if you just stick to that, you can be very successful. And right now, it's funny, man. what we're lining up with is amazing. I don't know if you're very familiar with crypto and the Bitcoin halving and how the cycles work every 4 years.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How are you even getting passive income from crypto?
So, okay, well, first off, I'll talk about how we're lining up for a super cycle. So the Bitcoin halving happens every 4 years, and this dictates on the bull and bear markets of cryptocurrency. And it works like clockwork. And if you just played off the Bitcoin halving, you could create a lot of wealth because that's where the bear and bulls come off of. Well, this time around, the Bitcoin halving is in March 2024. What else is going to be happening in 2024? Presidential elections. What else is probably going to happen in 2024? Probably a Fed pivot. What does that mean? Super cycle for cryptocurrency. Super cycle. It's going to be massive. So right now, what we're doing is we're finding projects being built, new projects in the middle of a bear market, and getting in early on the ground floor. And a lot of these projects and how we're creating passive income is like are you familiar with stock dividends? When you own a share of a company, you get profit share, right?
Right.
Same in crypto. There's one, it's the same in crypto. There's one project I'm in where basically it's a decentralized exchange. So basically, like, imagine FTX without Sam Bankman-Fried. The community owns FTX. I'm involved in this project where I'm going to receive all the trading fees from other people doing leverage trading because I own the currency to the exchange. So that's one. Another one is the software mining protocol I'm involved in. It's called Pulse Bitcoin. And it's mining using software technology on your laptop. And I'm gathering out the inflation, just how Bitcoin is mined. Same way, Bitcoin is just mined with hash rates and ASIC miners. And that's how you get the inflation. And this is just a new project that I'm creating the inflation from. Now, the newer projects have a little more risk, but they also have the most upside potential if they last through the bear market. Right. And so we mix up some of our stuff. We'll find older projects that have gone through cycles that have good product market fit and invest in those. And then we find new stuff that's being created and built in this bear market and invest in those and have a mixture of that portfolio. And that's what we do, man. We're researching every single night, doing our due diligence. And man, it's just been a great journey. And I mean, we're cash flowing. It's anywhere from 20 to 30K a month right now in crypto. And I could sell that crypto if I wanted to, and take them. I don't need the money, right? Because I've made a lot of money in real estate. Right. I don't need that money, so I'm going to keep the crypto coming in. I'm holding the crypto because in bear markets, those are the time to build your bags. That way, when the bull market comes, I have all that crypto. That's when it's time to sell.
Right. So your whole business model, and I love it, and that is to really get real estate investors in on that.
Yeah, so they can have a little exposure. They don't have to go crazy all in like I am. Like I'm taking all my money I've made in real estate, and basically I'm all in on crypto. But to teach real estate people how to do due diligence in the crypto space, what to look for, how to not get scammed and rinsed, how the security should work, because security is so important in crypto. It's really full of landmines. Yeah, I mean, you step one wrong step and you're rinsed. And the problem is when you get rinsed, not only does it hurt you, but then it also hurts the community because that scammer, all he's going to do is dump the crypto he rinsed from you. And so like it hurts everybody. And so like we really teach people how to be their own bank, how to be their own custodian, how to hold their own keys and act accordingly, and that way they don't have to use a Sam Bankman fraud, FTX exchange. We don't use exchanges. We're only in decentralized finance, DeFi. That's only where we operate at. And, so without getting too deep into it, it's kind of an overview about what we do, man. And I'm very passionate about it. I love it. I love real estate too, but real estate was just a means for me to put money, because I feel like this is going to be where I make the true legacy wealth.
There you go.
These next few years during this recession that we're about to go through. I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited for the real estate stuff too, because I remember the last real estate cycle in 2009, there was houses in Phoenix and everyone always talked about it for the last, these years. We used to buy houses in Maryville for $20,000 and then they're selling for $300,000 now. Like I want that again.
Yeah.
I want to see $20,000 houses in Maryville Like I saw, like 2009, I was in real estate, so I had no clue. But I think it's going to happen again,
Well,
and I
that's
could be
probably
wrong.
yeah. That's probably going to be something like crypto, right? You're buying it right now at the prices, and then a couple of years, that's what you're looking at.
That's
Instead,
it.
it's yep. So that all being going on, really focusing on crypto, staying up all night in these masterminds. What kind of marketing are you doing for your real estate business right now? I know you say that you're huge on Nationwide. Are you still doing
PPC is
that?
the only marketing we've done all year.
Okay,
Yeah, PPC. I run my own PPC in-house, although we have been kind of turning it down lower and lower. But I run all my PPC. We haven't done cold calling or text or any of those probably in a year and a half. I used to do in 2021, we would do cold call, text, PPC, direct mail. I had like 4 streams going at any given time.
all the old ladies in your living room.
That was 19.
I know.
That was 19. But yeah, PPC, 2022, we did only PPC all year. I
Nice.
learned PPC. I brought it in-house. I learned how to do it myself, how to do it nationwide. I was able to get my cost per conversion down to $40 cost per conversion in
Incredible.
PPC. And that's my favorite marketing channel, man, because in-house. In-house, we're at 12 leads to contract on PPC. The VAs we don't have the VAs anymore, but they were at about 18 leads per contract on PPC. And I love inbound leads because they're reaching out to you and they want to talk to you because they generally want to sell. Where on a cold call lead, you'll call them and they're like, yeah, what's your offer? You just don't get that in PPC. They'll give you their offer. They're like, oh, if you just give me $200,000, I'll walk away. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, that might be a little bit too much for us to pay as an investor. But guess what? We have this other program called our concierge service. Right.
Exactly.
Even though it would have worked as a wholesale, like even if it's a wholesale price, we'll still lock it up Novation.
Oh, there you go. Are you just dumping a bunch of money into PPC to get it nationwide? I mean, how much money would you need, do you think, to go nationwide?
$5K a month.
Really?
I tell my students, yeah, because I have a real estate mastermind. I got a real estate mastermind and a crypto mastermind.
Are you in the boardroom?
I'm not in the boardroom. No, we're not in the boardroom. Okay. I was in the boardroom for a year and a half. I was in it for a year and a half. So
gotcha.
When Sean left the boardroom, I left and I followed Sean.
Gotcha.
So that's why I left the boardroom. It's still great. I love Kent Clothier. I love those guys. I went to Scale and Escape in San Diego like 6 months ago, and had a great time. But yeah, my real estate mastermind, I teach everyone when they're coming in for getting started with PPC, a good budget to have should be around $5K. Although I start everybody when I teach them, because I teach people to run their own PPC. And when we first turn on their account, we only start about $2,000 a month just to get the account seasoned, to get the leads coming in, to make sure that we don't have any problems that we need to troubleshoot. And then we slowly scaled up, and about $5K a month, you'll be getting a good volume of leads in. At one point, I was spending about $35K a month in PPC alone.
And was that that point when you probably had those 65 deals on the board?
Yeah. What I love about PPC is it's infinitely scalable. And so you can literally turn on the faucet as much as you want or turn down the faucet when you want. And I love that in PPC. It's just, if I want to go into a new state, for example, hey, I'm going to start hitting Hawaii, instead of having to pull new list and new data and get new cold callers, get new systems, like another call tools or whatever. Like I could just go to PPC, I turn on Hawaii and I put a budget to it, and then I'm getting leads.
Exactly.
I love that.
That was our big shift. Is like you said earlier, we leaned out, we went Novation Nation with Corey Geary, and we started focusing on inbound leads. And where do we get those? PPC and /Facebook. So we started doing that. So we're doing about 15K right now a month. And I just got the phone. I'm actually using a company. I'm not running my own. I know you probably would say, hey, you need to run your own. But what I did, so I had my meeting with them today. I had my monthly meeting with them, and so we're actually opening up on the Sun Belt. So pretty much just like anything.
Okay, cool. I love that area.
So we want to just do all around the United States, the Sun Belt. So from like Southern California to Florida, Tennessee, down, right?
Is that? But you went like nationwide.
We went nationwide, but we were in like 32 states. Like we weren't in West Virginia, we weren't in the Dakotas, we weren't in Montana, we weren't in, yeah. But I mean, like we were in Illinois. I love Illinois. I love Illinois. We were in Ohio. There's a lot of good spots in Ohio. Even though the spreads are smaller, you can get a lot of volume in Ohio. A lot of volume.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so but yeah, we don't like Mississippi. Mississippi's down there in that Sun Belt area, so we stayed out of there. We stayed out of Louisiana. I didn't like Louisiana either. We had a lot of issues there. So like,
really,
we would test it. Like if we don't like it, like I would look at my PPC every quarter, and I would look at what my ROAS is. You need to look at what your ROAS is on the state, that you're marketing to, and to figure out what your true return on ad spend is. And that way you can figure out, if you want to turn that state on or keep that state on or off. Also talk to your teams. I talk to your dispo guys. Hey guys, how hard is it to sell a property here? Right. What kind of issues are you having selling deals here? Like we don't do deals in New York because they just had too many issues in New York. There's good deal size there that you can make money in New York, but they just had too many issues. And so like I turned it off because I don't want those guys. I want this job to be as easy as possible for those guys because this job is already difficult. Right. So I would talk to the team and figure out what we liked and what we didn't like. I don't know. I'm not in the weeds every day, so those guys know. Those guys would know. So that's how we did it. And yeah, I mean, so we're about going 32 states, most of the Sun Belt, obviously. We were in and got, cost per conversion around $40. I would just recommend to you and your viewers, if you're going to have a company run your PPC, the number one cardinal rule is make sure they're running it out of your account, not their account. They have to be running out of your account, and you need to be going there and looking at what they're doing because they're spending your money. No one cares about your money more than you are going to care about it, period. They're going to put VAs on it, guaranteed. And you need to go in there once in a while and also monitor what's going on and make sure they're not effing it up. And they need to run out of your account. When these companies are like, oh, no, we run out of our account. No way. That is the biggest red flag. They like to say, oh, we don't want you to see our secret sauce. I don't care. Then I'm going I've been through that ringer too many times. And that's why eventually I brought it in-house. I was like, okay, I'm going to bring this in-house. I need to figure this out. I need to learn how to fish instead of someone else fishing for me. And I mean, I'm glad I did, man. It was one of the greatest skill sets I ever learned. I think the only other thing I wish I would have learned, and I still could, is SEO. SEO is a great skill set. It's a long-term game. A year from now, you can have massive leads coming in for very cheap. And so that's another skill set that, I would always encourage anybody to go out and learn if you're trying to learn how to really do online, ad gen. So.
Absolutely. That's an incredible gold nugget, Garrett. Corey, let me ask you this. What would be your number one struggle in your real estate business right now?
Number one struggle is, right now it's because we have to retrade so many sellers. And that's because we can't anticipate. Every market is so different the way it's reacting to this recession. Right. And since we're nationwide, like here in Phoenix, like we're on a very steep decline. We're 60% down offered a contract on the MLS here month after month, which is just crazy. And so like you can't predict in all these different markets. Like if you lock up a property today, what is this? Are you still in the money 2 months from now when you're trying to get this thing novated? And so like one of the biggest struggles is having to retrade the sellers over and over and over again. And we're about 50% successful when we're doing it. Yep. We are successful doing it, but that's the frustrating part right now with this, the shift, because when, before the shift, we didn't have to you'd retrade the seller every once in a while. I mean, but we weren't that company to go in there. Like there's some companies out there, they retrade the seller no matter what. That was like part of their business model. I didn't believe in that. I always believed that was a little unethical. 100%. I believe that was always my thing. And so now it just kind of sucks that I have to do that every single day. Like today I did the disposition meeting and there's like 3 of them. I'm like, all right, Josh, can you hit him up and see if he's going to take 10 grand less? Because by the time the buyers are coming in, giving offers to us, like the market's already shifted down more, or it's just crazy. We just can't anticipate Like when we're comping, we look at the pending, we look at the active, we look at the sold. The sold tells you the past, the pending is supposed to tell you now, and the active is supposed to tell you what the future is. But like before that worked really well. It's not working as well anymore.
It's just like you just got to get as low as possible.
You just try to get as low as possible. Correct. And so that is, I don't think that's going to go away. So just always keep shooting for as low as possible.
Right.
And it's going to be a frustrating part for 2023. But I mean, you can get deals done. The two things that you're going to need for 2023, I think, and I believe, is obviously novations and seller financing. Because when we do kind of reach some kind of bottom, I don't care if we're close to the bottom or if we're like anywhere near a bottom, seller financing shines the most. That's when you want to turn on sub 2. That's when you want to do seller carry. That's when you want to do lease options, all that stuff you want to turn on when you're kind of towards the end of the real estate bottom. And because of that, I'm not an expert at seller financing. Even in my mastermind, we're in negotiations right now. I'm going to bring in an expert who will teach my group, no additional cost to the group, but then I get to learn too, right? I get to learn from I brought him in, we negotiated the deal and he's coming in and he'll be teaching seller financing to my group and I'll get to learn too. And so that's what we want to focus on for 2023, because I feel like that's going to be a valuable skill set. And still novations, man. Novations will work in any market because retail never dies. Right. It just doesn't. Even when the 80s, when the interest rates were at 18% or whatever craziness it was, people were still buying houses. And actually, those are the smart people. If you think about it, the smart retail buyers buy during a recession because they could buy low. And then 2 or 3 years later, when the interest rates come down, they can just refinance out. Like
exactly.
That's the way to retail buy a house. I mean,
now, when you saying owner finance, right? It's something that I think we all should be learning. Are you going to be wholesaling or are you going to be holding those for your own portfolio?
It'd probably be a mix of both. I mean, I don't know, right? Like I'm not there yet, but you would think it'd be a mix of both.
Right. No, I totally agree. It's
you'd want to hold what you want to hold. Like it's like when I wholesale, I would pluck out the ones I want to fix and flip and then wholesale the rest. We were doing that for a long time here in Phoenix. Same thing with the seller finance. You pluck out the ones you want to hold long term, and then you wholesale the rest. I mean, one of my good friends, David Odes, and you probably know David Odes. He runs Easy REI Closings. Great guy. He also, by the way, does all our closings. And if you guys are interested in his transaction company, you can go to novationclosings.com. But he built up 110 property portfolio in the last recession.
Oh man.
All on seller financing, And so he tells the story better than I can. It's a great story. He literally did it like less than $2,000.
That's incredible. We're gonna have to get him on the show.
Yeah, you gotta get David O's he's a good friend of mine, man. He's an excellent individual.
Corey, let me ask you this. You're definitely a man of, doing research, digging deep. What is something that you have listened to or read that just completely inspired you that you would want to share?
Well, from inspirational standpoint and mindset, the best book I've ever read, and I've read it 5 times. I've actually just read it like a month ago again, is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. That is hands down going to be the best book to learn from as far as how you should be looking at your life, how you should be like your mindset needs to be for creating wealth. There's so many nuggets in that book. You have to consume it over and over and over again. So as far as like that part of my life, that's probably the most recent, another one I read was one more thing from Ed Milet. That was a good book.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. I just read that one not too long ago.
One thing in that book was pretty fun. So I have Outwitting the Devil. That one's on my bookshelf, and I need to read it.
Read it. That is my favorite all-time book, period. And when you read it, put on Audible and put on the Audible while you're reading it.
Yeah.
The devil's voice is an Audible, and it's like, I swear, it's like watching the movie.
Yeah.
It's really that good. I mean,
I'm definitely going to be doing that this week. And what I was going to say about the one thing,
One More Thing, or what? I have the book around.
Yeah. Well, Elet. I forget.
Ed Milet.
Anyways, yeah, great book. One thing I thought was pretty funny in there. Do you know how when he preaches about like what does he say? 3 days and 1 day. I think it's like right there in the beginning. I was like, what? and it's a cool concept, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
It's the way he lives his life. Is he can cram in. I mean, I watched him. I got really inspired by him. I saw him at the last Scale and Escape with King Clothier. He spoke on stage and he really moved me. And I was like, oh man, this guy is like, he's the real deal. He's got a mastermind too. And I looked in joining his mastermind because I mean, he's just a mover and shaker and everything in life.
Absolutely. Hey, Corey. Well, again, I just want to thank you so much for hopping on here. We definitely went over a lot today. Corey, where can people bug you, DM you, get a hold of your course and your masterminds? Where can we find you?
So obviously for the real estate stuff, the real estate stuff's novationnation.com. You can go there. There's a course there you can buy. If you want to hit me up, you could DM me. On Facebook, it's Corey Geary. You can DM me there if you want to inquire about the course. And then on Instagram, it's thecoreygeary. And then if you're interested in cryptocurrency, the mastermind's called DeFi Crypto Alliance. This is where we teach real estate investors how to have some exposure in the beautiful asset class we call cryptocurrency. Don't be scared of it. Not all crypto is FTX. In fact, FTX is not crypto. That's the opposite. Why we do crypto is to remove third-party middlemen, to remove the bank, the risk. And so we teach investors how to have a little bit of exposure during this recession time for the next bull run. And so if you can hit me up again, best places, Facebook, Corey Geary, just DM me. Let me know you're interested in the mastermind, or Instagram, the Corey Geary. So you'll see mainly you'll see a mix between crypto and real estate on Facebook and Instagram. But if you want to see only crypto stuff that I talk about, I have a Twitter also. Twitter, so like I had my social medias where Twitter's all crypto and then Facebook's all real estate. Like if I want to like go into a crypto space, Twitter. If I want to be surrounded by real estate influence, I go to Facebook. But Twitter's Corey Geary too. So
awesome, incredible. Thank you again so much, Corey. And hey, we'll see you next time here on the Real Estate Block Podcast.
Thanks again. I appreciate you, man.